Welcome to Trailer Park, the podcast trailer podcast. I'm Arielle Nissenblatt.
And I'm Tim Villegas. And wow, here we are at episode 8 of season 1 of the show. It's our last regular season episode.
And what a season it's been. For the past 2+ months, we've been sharing podcast trailers with you, analyzing them, and playing some audio from the creators of those trailers.
It's been a blast discovering new shows, meeting new creators, and recommending podcasts to you, our dear listeners.
Let's get into today's episode. Have you entered the contest to win a Vocaster from Focusrite?
On each episode of season 1, Focusrite is giving away an audio interface made just for podcasters called the Vocaster. We've given away 7 so far. Could you win the last one of the season?
Click on the link in the show notes to enter, and good luck. It's our last trailer drop of the season. I can't believe it. We'll debrief on season 1 in a bonus episode sometime soon. But for now, I just want to say thank you for tuning in week after week.
We're so grateful for all the positive feedback we've received from y'all so far.
And we're not grateful for the negative feedback.
That's right.
I guess that's what that implies.
You guys can go somewhere far away.
Tim, thank you for taking the reins last episode while I was out of the country. I really love how the episode turned out. Listeners, we've been using this show to not only share trailers and spread our love of podcasts, but also to experiment with style and format. So last episode, Tim led us by sharing a trailer for a show called Stuck on Sound, and I popped in with some quick analysis.
We'd love to know what you thought of that episode, that trailer we shared, and more. Heck, we'd love to know what you thought of our whole season so far. Let's recap it real quick.
On episode 1, we shared the trailer for Neuroversity from Jessica Kidwell.
Then we had the trailer for Sufficiently Black submitted by Nakia Swinton.
Then we listened to the trailer for Serum from Grant Hill.
And hint, hint, I got to interview Grant about the show, and that interview will drop as a bonus episode in a few weeks.
Then we listened to the trailer for Where the Stars Fell from Newt Schottelkotte.
Then we heard the trailer for the miniseries from Scraps of Science and Innovation called The Inflammatory Wanderer.
Then we had a feed drop from Devin Andrade at Tink Media for a podcast about podcast recommendations.
Then we heard the trailer for Where Did I Get Like This from Sean Mallory.
And our most recent episode was for the trailer for Stuck on Sound submitted by Anthony Luciani.
We had a lot of fun sifting through the almost 200 submissions we received. It was a good problem to have that we had so many folks share their trailers. It means that we'll have a lot more where that came from. And it also means that you can submit your own trailer for our consideration for a future season.
Do that at trailerparkpodcast.crd.co. And without further ado, let's get to today's trailer. We're hearing from a show called Crucial FEWSION.
This trailer was submitted by Diane Hope. We'll hit play now and then be back when it wraps to discuss. Shall we?
We shall.
Food, energy, water, to bring them together and actually know how one impacts the other. It's very enlightening.
When it comes to food, energy, and water, I never knew in the past that they are connected.
Crucial FEWSION. I want people to know that their food, energy, and water are connected. And those connections need to be understood so that we can understand how sustainable they are. We want to know which links are vulnerable. We want to know which links might be improved, which ones might break. And we want to understand how to make those connections, those links, stronger and more resilient.
Food, energy and water systems, FEWS, or FEWSION, is a team science project led by Professor Ben Ruddle at Northern Arizona University and funded by the National Science Foundation.
Most of the footprint of your behavior on the Earth's resources is buried in your supply chain, out of sight.
I never knew that I use up to that amount of water in a week. I think it was shocking for me.
This was the first time that I actually heard the term virtual water, all the water that goes into energy and then producing food. So just to give you an idea of what my daily water usage is, it's about 2,100 gallons of water a day. I can't even imagine what that looks like over the year.
There's something about these big numbers that really hits home and makes me realize how I contribute to those big numbers.
That knowledge is the foundation for action. It's the foundation for change. Being informed allows people to make better choices about their own behavior and about what the priorities are in their community.
Be better informed. Listen to Crucial Fusion for in-depth coverage and cutting-edge findings on US food, energy and water systems across the nation and in your community.
So, what'd you think?
So for folks who are just listening to this, meaning you haven't seen the title of Crucial Fusion anywhere, you might see it in the title of this episode, but just in case, you might not know that fusion, part of the title Crucial Fusion, is spelled FEWSION as opposed to FUSION. FEW stands for food, energy, water. I appreciated that the first few words out of the gate were food, energy, water to let us know, to orient us. There's a balance when you name your podcast something that's not so obvious to a layperson. You need to explain the title and educate folks on it, but you also don't want to spend too much time doing that. You don't want to take away from the rest of the show. And I really think that the trailer got that aspect of things right. I also really liked the pacing of the show. The music wasn't too overpowering, but it enhanced my listening experience. I actually thought that the music had sort of a sci-fi futuristic feel to it. What did you think, Tim?
So, Arielle, throughout our recording of TPP, I haven't wanted to go too critical on the trailers we have featured, but with this one, I'm going to make an exception. For starters, Diane Hope, who narrates the podcast series, has a fantastic and engaging voice, and I just wish that her voice was the first thing we heard in this trailer. Another minor critique is that if I didn't know this was a podcast, you couldn't tell from the trailer. It doesn't actually say it's a podcast or where to listen.
And I just want to add, Tim, that when you started off, when I asked you, what did you think, Tim? And you said, well, Arielle, I was afraid. I was like, he's going to shit on this trailer. It's going to be bad. And then all of your critiques are like pretty, you're nice. You're a nice man. They're all just helpful. So I appreciate that. And I just want to make a note for credit's sake. Diane let us know that the podcast episodes of Crucial Fusion use the findings of the National Science Foundation funded research carried out by the Fusion team based at Northern Arizona University. We'll put a link to their findings in the show notes of this episode. But we wanted to hear more from Diane, right, Tim? Like, we loved her voice and we wanted more.
Yes, more Diane, please. We also had a chance to speak with Diane about the making of the trailer. Here is what she shared with us when we asked her to share some more context about the making of the show.
I made this trailer after the series was pretty much completed, for the lead professor at Northern Arizona University to grab his students' attention. The university chose a podcast over other formats because it was a cost-effective way to showcase their aims and key research findings in an effortless, conversational style that also allowed the voices of students, researchers, and citizen scientists to be heard. My favourite episodes are number 9 because the sheer scale of how humans affect global plant growth is so mind-blowingly staggering. And episode 5, is your burger killing a river? The short answer is yes. Listen to find out why.
Thank you to Diane for sending in the trailer for Crucial Fusion. To listen to more from this project, you can go to fusion.us. That's FEWSION. We'll link to it in the show notes.
Thank you to everyone who shared audio with us for season 1 of the show. Starting soon, we'll be releasing bonus episodes. Here's what we've got coming up.
A conversation between Tim and Grant Hill of Serum that we mentioned just a few moments ago.
An audit of the trailer for a podcast called Digital Folklore.
A conversation with Dan Hughley of Focusrite, our season 1 sponsor.
And more to be determined. And then after a few weeks of chilling, analyzing statistics, planning, recording, and editing, we'll be back with season 2 of the show.
Got questions for us about how we make the show? How to get featured? Or just want to say hi? Send us an email. That's hello@trailerparkpod.com. We're also on Instagram at trailerpark_podcast.
Thanks again for listening and being part of the park. Stick around after the music plays because we're going to tell you about the folks that made season 1 of the show possible.
And we'd truly love it if you took a screenshot of your phone playing our show right now and shared it with us on social media. We'll make sure to repost you. I'm sure other podcasters can relate, but it's really tough making a podcast week after week, and feedback is much appreciated.
Thanks again.
Season 1 of Trailer Park, the podcast trailer podcast, was made possible by Focusrite, Capsho, OSHA, AugX Labs, and Recast Studio.
We used all of those softwares and services to make TPP run smoothly, and we think you'll like them too.
Starting with the Vocaster from Focusrite. It's an audio interface that makes our audio sound professional and clear, even though we're not recording in a fancy sound-treated studio. And you can win one. Just click on the Win One link in the show notes to enter.
OSHA is our podcast hosting service. It's easy to use, the analytics are robust, and there's even a built-in social media scheduler.
Capsho is an AI copywriting software that we feed our audio into in order to get show notes, title ideas, blog posts, social posts, and more. It saves us a lot of time. And I've had some people DM me and say, what is Capsho? How do you spell that? So let me make that very clear. It's Capsho, Capsho, Capsho.
Recast Studio is what we use to make audiograms. There are tons of templates to choose from, and you can even customize sizes and shapes to fit the different social platforms.
Love that. And AugX Labs helps us make video content for our podcast using AI. We upload our audio files, and it uses generative AI to make images, videos, and GIFs.
GIFs.
We then share those videos on YouTube, and we love it.
Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring season 2 of the show, we'd love to chat. hello@trailerparkpod.com is the email address to type in your favorite email sending platform.
That's the email address. This show is written by Arielle Nissenblatt and Tim Villegas.
It's mixed and designed by Tim Villegas.
Our artwork is by Caio Slikta.
Our listeners are you. Yes, even you get a shout out, lovely listener.
Hope you're smiling right now. Thank you for listening.
And one last time on season 1, Happy trails. Give us more Diane. Okay.